Bring him out here.
Deputy?
Sounded like quite a commotion. Is that him?
I sincerely hope so.
Old Anders Anderson.
So what now?
Take him in, come on. Fine job, well done. And a pat on the back for me for stopping the train. Load Anders onto the back of your horse there, and we'll take him to Sheriff Gray. Hey, what are you playing at?
Jo, no.
Come on, I assume you're not walking him in. There you go. You are a natural. All right, let's take him in. Follow me.
What about the others?
Oh, we'll round them up. Anders back there is the brains of the operation, and that's really saying something.
You're the boss.
That was mighty impressive, sir. I have to admit. I'd hazard a guess you've served the law yourself at some point.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that.
Are you familiar with the area here?
No, not really.
On your right here, these tobacco fields? This is part of Caliga Hall, big estate belonging to the Gray family.
Looks bone dry.
Yes, we are in dire need of some rain round here, let me tell you. The Grays have lived in Caliga Hall for generations. Fine people. My family's been working for them for years. Sheriff Gray's the one I know best, of course, but they own half the businesses in town.
Which town?
Rhodes, sir. You don't know it? Where we're headed right now. Ain't what it was before the war, but it has its charms. I'm sure you already know of the Braithwaites.
Like I said, just got down here.
Another big family in these parts. They have an estate west of here. Awful people, truly awful. They've been fighting with the Grays for as long as I can remember.
Sounds like quite the place you got here.
Neměli bychom toho maníka svázat? Jako, já nevím, jenom typuju, ale volna.
Easy, boy.
Here we are. Welcome to Rhodes. Up there on your left is the Rhodes Parlor House. Very reputable saloon owned by the Gray family. We also have a general store, gunsmith, post office, train station, of course.
What more do you need?
Very little. Oh, good, they're back. And that's your friend, right?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna stop just ahead on the right, outside the sheriff's office. Can you grab Anders off your horse and carry him in for me? Come on, partner, before he wakes up. Carry him over then. Mr. Gray! We got him.
Very good.
I told you Arthur would deliver. Man has a passion for justice.
That's wonderful.
So, about my friend here?
Your idiot friend is free to go. But no more trouble from you, partner.
I promise you this was all just a big misunderstanding. However, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I'll pretend to appreciate that. Mr. McIntosh, it has been a real pleasure. The mostly good citizens of Rhodes, we welcome you.
Well, we're just honored to be here.
And make your friend behave. We got enough trouble from some of the residents, old-timers who've gone, sadly, to seed and lost their dignity.
How terrible. Come along now. I will keep this fellow on the straight and narrow.
Come back and see us sometime soon. Excuse me, gentlemen. Bo, these better be ugly rumors. Is it true you were seen talking to that wretched Penelope Braithwaite?
I can't thank you enough.
Where have you been?
Around.
And where are you staying?
I'm renting a caravan on the edge of town behind the church. It's horrible, but no one comes looking. The whole town is trapped in this interminable feud between the two families. His lot, Gray's, and the Braithwaites.
Interesting.
Two old plantation houses, and falling out of rebel gold, and marrying cousins or not marrying.
Arthur, Jose, you start poking around. See what you can find out about that.
I have missed you, boys. I've heard about bounty.
There's been a price on my head for 13 years. It'll take 'em months to find us down here, and it seems like we can have a little sport.
Well, they're good bounties.
Where you hear this?
Some fellas I met at a camp near the state line said there was talk of it in bars in the north and west for 500 miles. There was talk of super agents of some sort.
Super agents. I'd love to meet one. It's just talk.
I'm sure it is, but I couldn't not tell you.
Stay out of trouble.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, so these two plantation families. Arthur, you start sniffing around the Gray's place, see what the story is there.
Yeah, I passed by it earlier with our friend, Archibald.
Good. Hosea, you see what you can find out about these Braithwaites.
All right. Thank you, Arthur.
Quite a fishing trip.
I'm up for it.
How about you, Arthur? Or have you had enough of the chase for one day?
Sure, why not?
Great. Hosea, why don't you lead us to that spot you were talking about? I kinda like this place.
Okay. Let's see if we can avoid any more excitement.
You know old Petey Jensen gambled away the shirt on his back last night.
Ain't nothing new.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Follow me.
So how far is this creek?
It's a bit of a ride still. And it's not a creek. It's the same lake we camped on, just a different part. It'll be worth it. I saw some big drum and sturgeon there. Should be rock bass, bluegills, perch, pickerel too.
Easy.
It's a good spot.
We'll see if you're as good at catching fish as you are at catching criminals, Arthur.
Trelawney owes me for that.
Trelawney owes everyone for something, but his information is good.
Plus, we are now ingratiated with the local law. I'd say it was a worthwhile diversion all around.
Trelawney's like a bad penny.
I'm not sure how good a magician he is, but he's certainly good at disappearing when he feels like it.
Where does he go?
Everywhere and nowhere, it seems. We wouldn't have got Sean back if he hadn't been weaseling around down that way, though.
Hey, Dutch, remember that time you found him in the outhouse?
Oh, yeah. We hadn't seen him in weeks. We stopped in some dead-end town in the middle of nowhere. Don't even remember the name.
You and Bill were off doing something, Arthur.
So, we pick up some supplies. I go to relieve myself. Open the door. And there's Trelawney, sitting there, newspaper in hand. Mr. Vanderlyn. I say, what the hell are you doing here? And he said, I could ask you the same thing. Now, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little privacy, I ate a rotten oyster.
Hey, maybe there are actually 100 Trelawneys.
What a terrible thought.
Taky bych si řekl. What a terrible thought. No těžko. Odedna.
Yes, over there on the shore.
Každý má svou loďku. No ty vole, jak chceš.
I'm sure nobody would mind if we borrowed one of these. Come on. This looks like a fine vessel.
Okay. Come on, Arthur. Let's get her in the water.
Oh. I got a good feeling about fishing here. It's supposed to be some incredible sturgeon.
Okay, here we go.
Jestli teda jsem nikdy nechytil. Teda zatím.
Let me row. You boys are too old for real labor no more.
You're too dumb for anything else.
You're still too quick for me, old man.
I enjoy picking on children. Now take us to the deeper water and pray for good luck and stupid fish.
But what about stupid luck and good fish?
That'll do too. Head towards the middle of the lake.
Ne. To jsou pádla.
I think here's good.
All right. Good luck, gentlemen.
Should really come here at dawn or dusk. That's when you catch the best fish. We should use a lake lure. That'll give us a much better chance of hooking something
Jak
big
všichni
like a
mají
sturgeon.
pět a stejný
Strong
bambusák.
good old worm.
Oh, worms are good for tiddlers like bluegill and rock bass, but you'd have to be real lucky to catch a sturgeon with one.
Lures it is, then. You heard the expert, Arthur. Let's bait up.
Keep the lure moving slowly on the water so it looks like a little fish just asking to be eaten. Are you trying to make your lure look like a dead fish? They won't be interested if it ain't moving. Got a nibble there, Arthur. Now reel him in, Arthur.
They're nibbling. Got 'em.
Bacha, štíky skáčou, vole. Pojď tady ke mně, pojď. A nezamotej to tady, kluku. Sandát.
Look at this beauty.
Sandát.
There you go.
Well done, Arthur.
They can go a lot bigger than that. Fella told me he once saw a monster lake sturgeon near the mouth of the river, just southwest of Saint Denis. 50-pounder, he reckoned.
I would like to see that.
Nicely done, Arthur. Got him bite. There we go. Ah, I should have had that one.
Hey, Hosea. You remember that time we sent Arthur out fishing? He came back with 3 beautiful bass.
Not this again.
I don't think I do.
Oh, yeah. You do. He was maybe 20. 21. Walked in all full of himself. We had a big feast. Toasted him all night.
This was 15 years ago.
Oh, I remember now.
Then, the next week, Arthur and I are at the market, and Fishmonger calls out, "So how did you enjoy those bass?"
Look, you can fish, or you can go drinking all day, rob someone, and buy some fish.
That's on the hook, Arthur.
I used to go fishing with this feller back in the day. Wesley, his name was. Real miserable bastard.
Vypadá.
He loved to fish. We go all the time.
Pstruh.
One day, we were river fishing.
Vypadá to fakt jako přesvědčivý pstruh duhovej.
Over the bridge, and out of the blue, Wesley stands up, takes off his hat, bows his head. Then he sits down, picks his rod back up, and carries on. Doesn't say a word. So I'm a little surprised and say, Wesley, that was nice of
Ale
you.
pstruhy jsou ve velké většině na řece.
Felt I had to. After all, I was married to her for 30 years.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, dear God. I might swim to shore.
It looks like you got a bite, Arthur. Remember those big salmon I caught in Montana last year? We had a banquet planned that night until Copper went and scoffed the lot.
You never had control of that dog.
He had some spirit, though. Never lost the puppy in him, right to the end.
You know, I remember us saying how Blackwater was the furthest east we'd ever been. As a group, I mean.
Feels like the more we try to head west, the further east we end up.
We had all those safe spots
Tak na co
picked
to
out to lie
vypadá?
low in New Austin after the ferry job.
I liked it there.
Aha,
Still open and wild, the way it should be. Somehow the desert makes you feel...
kudek, kámo.
No point us trying to get back that way anytime soon. Pinkertons had patrols out all over tall trees and Great Plains. We saw when we went back for Sean.
Well, look at us now, huh? It could be worse. Plans change. That's just how life goes.
Got one.
Did I ever tell you my mother's buried in Blackwater?
Really? She is?
Apparently so. I only found out from an uncle of mine years later. Last I knew, she was still outside Philadelphia. I left home at 15 and didn't see her again. She and I didn't always see eye to eye.
Tak
I
pojď.
wasn't always a very obedient child.
I can only imagine.
Still, I loved her in my own way, and she me in hers. Somehow, even from the grave, she managed to have the last laugh.
Something's nibbling. Ha! Got ya! You got a bite. You hooked him.
Neříkej. Ona se zmítá pokaždý. Nejvíc, když ji dotáhnete ke břehu. Jakmile cítí písek pod břichem, je to v hajzlu. Kámo. Já tě nikam nepustím, vole.
There you go. That's a nice one.
Keeping that one, eh?
Jo, tak. Jo. Takhle to fakt není na rybách.
That feels like a bite.
Je pokaždý, co nahodíte. Je pokaždý, co nahodíte, tak něco chytnete. Ani hovno.
Arthur's got a bite.
Fish on the line, Arthur.
Neboj se toho. Máš naviják jako kráva, ty vole. Opatrně. Teďka se bude asi trošičku vztekat. Bézo.
Hang of this.
Pojď
Very
zpátky.
sporting of you.
Tady máš svatý Petře.
Hey, I reckon we call it a day, fellas.
Already?
You ain't been chasing down outlaws.
All right. Think we got a decent haul here. Pearson will be happy. Should we head back?
We could keep the boat not too far back to camp from here.
Good idea. Could be useful.
What about the horses?
Oh, they'll find their way back.
Just follow the shore south, Arthur.
That was fun. Thank you, boys. Now, Hosea,
Yes.
how about a song?
Okay. All right, I got one for you. I asked that gal to give me some.
I asked that gal to give me some. She says wait till the taters is done. I couldn't wait till the taters was done. I couldn't wait till the taters was done. Threw her on the floor and I knocked off some. I wish to God I'd have passed her by. I wish to God I'd have passed her by. Tater got burned and so did I.
That was pretty good. But you know, what song we should be singing?
What?
Well, look at us. 3 mariners.
Ah, of course.
Well, we 3 poor mariners newly come from the seas. We spend our lives in jeopardy while others live at ease. Shall we go dance this round, around, around? Shall we go dance this round, around, around? Hey, that is a bully boy. Come pledge me on his ground, round, round, round. We care not for martial men that do our state's disdain, but we care for the merchantmen who do our states maintain. To them we dance this round, around, around. To them we dance this round, around, around. And he that is a bully boy, come pledge me on this ground, 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 ground.
Oh, bravo! Bravo! Well, you know, we should not let the folks back at camp think that we had too much fun.
Indeed not.
All right. I think we are gonna be okay. I know. I always know. Whenever I got you two by my side, things are gonna be just fine. This place will be good for us. For now, anyway.
I hope so.
A s touhletou bombou musíme skončit. Díky, že jste se dívali. Dobrou noc.